Good day, Internet people! How goes it, everyone? Garth here from Draw the Trigger with some silver nails, with some silver sleeves, for some Silver Thorns for your delectation. I've been meaning to deck profile this for pretty much since the set's come out, but...
How long ago was that now?
Time ago. However, better late than never. I wanted to make sure I was absolutely certain that this was the way I wanted to play the deck, to be fair. And I've been pretty settled on it for a while. And it's really good, so let's show you what it is. We'll start with the starter, which is Emil, who is totes broken. I thought it was the only starter in the game that has ever existed that can go straight into the soul on your first turn if you start the game, but there is another one, and I've now forgotten which one it is, which is really annoying. But there is one other starter that can go straight into the soul without cost.
But isn't there another... there's a load of starters that's just come out that says put this unit into your soul, give something else plus 3k. There's no load of starters just come out like that.
I think so, but I thought it was the only one that had an ability that was not standard, like give something plus 3k. Anyway, so what this ridiculous starter does that's so amazing, which is to just put this unit into your soul from the rear guard, is to look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, search up to 1 grade 3, 2, 1 and 0 card with Silver Thorn in its card name from among them, put them into your soul and shuffle your deck. Pretty darn ridiculous. All the more reason why I like it so much. And everyone goes, oh, and like retiring decks go, oh, because they can't kill it. I think I've only had it killed once, and that's because I left it lying around. Which is my own fault. Triggers, we are nice and aggressive here with nice 4+4 crits. You could be really aggressive and run 12, but I find that having the draw triggers just for having extra cards with Silverthorn in the card name because it's important later on is useful. And of course, 4 heals, because who doesn't play heal triggers? I mean, really, that's just silly. Moving on to the grade 1s. Such perfs. Goes without saying, we run 4. Soul charging, random soul charging is capable in like 1 card's effect, so the possibility of losing a perfect card is still there, so we still run 4. This is the thing I would like to ride better than most of all. That's Silverthorn Assistant Zelma. That's Purple Trapezist Plus. Seeing as she's now a 7k, and when she's placed on a rear guard, choose another rear guard with Silverthorn in its card name, put it in the soul, call something other than a card called Zelma, and call it to rear guard. Oh, of course, all these things have to have Silverthorn in the card name. Otherwise, you get told off for cheating. Or for not just playing Purple Trapezist. Next, 3 copies of Silverthorn Beast Tamer Anna. Her ability is counter +1 when an attack hits a vanguard during the battle that this unit boosted a pale moon. You may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 1 card from your soul with Silverthorn in its card name, call it to rear guard, and at the end of the turn, put that unit back into your soul. This card goes behind the vanguard. Always. If I get it in play. Because... excuse me. On top of the vanguard having its own shenanigans, we also want her to pressure, and she will almost always be able to hit the right numbers to make people have to guard for at least 2 triggers. Or I've got a Mr. Ed sitting across from me, and he's just going constantly.
Especially when they get 6 damage healed when you're playing this deck.
Yeah, sorry. It was a thing that happened recently. My throat's going. The last of the grade 1s. You could pick Irina for more soul charging, but I'm not so fond of that as I used to be, so I go for Breathing Dragon. And this is, of course, the 10k attacker. So, again, as many chances to make numbers as possible. Moving on to the grade 2s. Now, a lot of people, I believe, are going to have a shout at me for this because it's not what apparently I should be playing. Thank you very much, Mr. Ed, for the drink. I like to play Silverthorn Marionette Lillian. Now, you'll notice in my grade 2 lineup that I do not play Mariska, or however you pronounce her name.
But you've never played her.
I did. I played her when I used Reverse.
Oh, yeah.
Because there wasn't a better card that came along that you'll see in a minute. But the reason why I chose this one and not Mariska is because I've already got Anna, You don't want to use too many counterblasts because the grade 3s can use up a lot of counterblasts in one go. And also, if you ride this and you're playing against a Link Joker player or anyone who has a grade 2 that can hit if it's on the Vanguard circle, you can just throw down the 10k shield and say no pass. Unless they call down enough of a booster to make it at least 15k. But a lot of people will just will just put the starter behind the Vanguard, so then they're only swinging for 14.
Mm-hmm.
And as my starter doesn't need counterblast, and I have probably already used it by then, I don't need the counterblast around, so I can just guard early. It's all part of the plan, see? It works. So that's why I don't use Mariska, and I use that. Also, you can boost with the perfect guard and hit numbers. If you happen to accidentally have to go onto out of the soul. But again, we're aggressive in this deck, so we move on. We have 4 copies of Rising Dragon for 12k hitting. So,
Enough said.
Yep, enough said. Again, we're just making the numbers to cause the pain. Speaking of cards that like to cause the pain.
Oh god.
Yeah, you know. It's Upright Lion.
Hey, it's a Bruno card for Pale Moon.
Yeah, so you can't complain because you have a Bruno card.
I've got 2.
Yeah. Dang it. So when another of your units with Silver Thorn in its card name is placed on the rearguard from your soul, if you have a Pale Moon Vanguard, this unit gets plus 3000 until the end of turn. This happens automatically, and therefore, of course, it stacks. If you're using an ability that makes this card come out of the soul at the same time as, say, 3 other units, it doesn't give itself plus 3000, but it will get plus 3000 for every of the other 3 units that come out of the soul, so it will get plus 9. I managed to make this swing in a game at yesterday's tournament, unboosted for what was it? It was something like 27,000 unboosted. There was nothing behind it at all. So
that's what 27. That's how many?
Hang on, is 9? Let's count out 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. So I managed to make 6 things come out of the soul.
That means you had some purple trapezes.
I did have a couple of Zelmas around, yes, to help out. So yes, this card is here to make stupendous numbers and make your opponent cry. To be fair, that's what the entire deck does. So,
yep,
I love this deck. Can you tell? Grade 3s, Lukier. Only 2. Only really need 2. In my experience, I mean, I would maybe change one of the other grade 3s for a 3rd if I had it, but I don't feel like I need it, so I'm not really going out of my way for it. If one happens to show up that I can get hold of, then I'll take it, but it's not happening, and it's been fine so far.
And they're very rare to get hold of nowadays.
That's the other problem. She's rare. And her ability is still as classic as always. So Counterblast 3, Limit Break 4, of course. Choose up to 1 grade 0, 1, 2, and 3 Pale Moon from your soul, call them to separate rearguard. You could essentially kind of call the starter back out and just immediately use it again. It's very good. And of course, when another of your Pale Moon is placed on a rearguard from your soul, this unit gets plus 3000 as well. Who pinched that? Who pinched that? Don't know.
No idea.
And again, in the game I played yesterday, I actually won a game having just Lukier out, and I had to use her limit break, so I made sure that the lion was around, so that both cards got plus 12. Because I soul charged a different grade 3, so. Yeah. We like making numbers in this deck. Yeah. So you got like a Lukier that's attacking unboosted for 22. And a lion on the rear guard swinging unboosted for 21.
No guards a few times.
How was your hands like? There was although yesterday's tournament did have a large number of hand wars. Nah. Next grade 3 is reverse, and I play 2 copies of her at the moment. This is the one card that if I was to get another regular Lukier, I would just go and switch that. But I don't have it, so I just use 2 reverse. I didn't have to use her too much. Usually, if I get her in, if I get her in hand and I have a different Lukier to ride, then I will just ride the other one and not bother with this one unless I have to.
She's more of a tactic change, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Still a good card, just not quite. She gets overshadowed by the other Lukiers. And Limit Break 4 is, of course, Counterblast 1, choose a Pale Moon rearguard and lock it. Choose a Pale Moon from your soul, call it to rearguard and give it plus 5k. Which is still very good for making numbers. Especially if you have like, again, you can have a lion on its own on one side, call a thing out on the other side, and it'll get plus 3. And then the other thing that comes out the soul will get plus 5. So it's good. It's just really, really good, and what I found to be very, very, very consistent in making stupendous numbers. Here's the main person of your deck, or your deck, my deck. It's Venus Lucae, of course. And we run 4. Yay!
SP1.
I've got to be smug about my SP. Okay, it's very pretty.
And it's not for sale, for trade, or for anything. If anyone tries to comment.
No part of this deck is being flogged ever, because I love it. Can you tell? So her Limit Break is counterblast 2 cards with Silver Thorn in the name, which is why I don't run 12 crits. Well, it's a big reason why I don't run 12 crits. There was an instance where I had like 4 counterblasts free and I could only use 2 of them because only 2 of them were Silver Thorns, but you know,
doesn't happen often.
Happens, can be known. So you counterblast 2 Silver Thorns and you choose up to 5 Pale Moon cards with a sum of their grades being 6 or less from your soul and call them to separate rearguard. Which can be very funny if you have the abilities to make that happen. I mean, you can kind of go like a grade 2 and then have everything else be grade 1s and fill the field, so you can have like the 10k hitter on the other side and then you can still make all the numbers. It's not happened too many times though. And of course, in the case of both of these cards, if you have the regular Lucae in the soul, plus 2k. This deck has, from what I've found, 3 ways to get the regular Lucae in the soul. Which is ride it,
Starter skill,
the starter, or just playing it on the rearguard and using Zelma.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't, if you have to ride one of these 2 first, you're still going to be okay for getting Lucae in the soul if she turns up later. So that is my deck. It is most evil and it's doing me very well, and it's been doing very well from what I understand in like various regional tournaments for Worlds at the minute. It's topped a couple of them in whichever builds have shown up.
It's because Pale Moon isn't really a deck that gets used often, so most of the players aren't used to it. Especially if you and your friends just use like the big decks.
A lot of the like Pale Moon faithfuls, I think, have really enjoyed having Venus Lucae around.
Even though she was never in the anime.
Yeah, she never got shown off in the anime. I think they were trying to keep it quiet.
Maybe.
But yeah, lovely card. And a great deck. So let me know what you think of my deck in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, internet people.
Goodbye.